that's part of the reason why I stopped filming for a while. So, morning bows and bow ties. I just want to say this. Now, this is probably going to be fodder for those who are like anti-marriage, anti-children, anti-family. I can't worry about those people. This message is for those who have kids. I just want you to know that, hey, sorry, my fault. I thought I was going to make an early turn, but I'm going to take another back road here. You know, I just feel like I am definitely failing at parenting every day, especially when you have teens and preteens. I how do I say this? I love my children, but they are trying me. And it is really difficult when you try to do the very best you can for your kids without enabling or handicapping. You let them learn tough lessons, etc. But this stage comes with a lot of headaches. It comes with a lot of headaches. I definitely am trying to extend grace, but I'm not doing a good job. I have dropped more F-bombs and cuss words. Let me tell you, I have been all outside of my religion. I am failing every single day at parenting, whether it's from simple like grooming things. I'm like, why do I have to tell you to put on lotion every day? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, why is this incredibly difficult? There's just a lot of things. I think I'm just worn out. I'm sick and tired of all of their little attitudes. I'm like, I don't know who you think you are, but you don't know more than me. My mother used to always tell me, I have forgotten more than you already know. And I have to remind my kids that. Now, let me just say, my kids aren't awful, but I feel like they are right now. I think the biggest thing is when you know that you are trying to raise up kids to be good citizens, to be of good character, to have pride in how they want to show up in this world, their grooming habits, all that good stuff. I think for me is, I know I work really hard. I work hard to afford them opportunities, and I feel like sometimes I have to remind them that so many kids would love to be in the position that they're in. And I think the reason why it's bothering me more, I had a chit chat with a buddy of mine, a friend of mine, and I was talking to her about like how I go the extra mile with my kids to ensure that even though some of their extracurricular activities, I make sure they're going when I can, because sometimes it doesn't work out, but that they are doing certain things, or maybe even on teams or whatever, that has more representation of people that look like them. And I say this because they live in an area that's not very diverse. They're being taught by people who don't look like them. All of their friendships primarily are people who don't look like them, etc. So I work hard to make sure that when they're getting training or whatever it is, that they're getting represented, or that they are seeing themselves in people who look like them, that they're working out with kids who look like them, that they have, even if there are loose ties and loose relationships with people who look like them. We go, well, lately we've just been online, but we are members of a church that represents people that look like me. And I feel like with all of that effort, sometimes it just goes unappreciated. When you work really hard to ensure that your kids are healthy, obviously physically, but you want them emotionally and mentally, spiritually healthy, all those things. And I realize it doesn't matter what I've done. Apparently, I have failed my kids, because they are clearly some of the most unaware kids, and I'm like, I don't think I'm doing enough, or maybe I've done too much. But it's hard because when you have a level of expectation and those expectations are not being met, I get really frustrated. Really frustrated. I explained to one of my children yesterday that he was like, "Hey mom, I got an 85, an 85, and an A on something," and I was like, "Why weren't those 85s A's?" And I know that sounds like I'm being really tough, and he's in honors classes, but I told him, I said, you don't get the you don't have the luxury to fail up. You don't have the luxury of being average. You don't. Other kids can be average and they can fail up, but you cannot. You cannot. So, I was just really frustrated with a lot of things. And I know people are probably looking at me sideways like, you're upset over some 85s. I'm like, not when when I know he can do better. Absolutely. If I don't push my kids to be the best version of themselves, my job is to parent my kids, right? My, but I feel like with my kids, not every kid has the same issue. Some kids struggle more in school than others because I got all my kids have they're all over. And I think the biggest thing for me is like I feel like I'm doing my best to parent my children and to teach them lessons. And I don't know if they're catching those lessons. You know, when I think about some of the attitudes and some of the recent behaviors and stuff like that, I'm like, how dare you? How dare you? Now, I don't want to paint this picture that I've got these awful children, because I do not. Let's be clear. But ultimately, I feel like I fail my kids every day. I'm like, why? I continue to lose connection because I'm taking these back roads to avoid traffic, and I don't know if this was the right decision. Nevertheless, I just feel like I'm failing my kids on so many levels. Parenting is hard. There's certain things that I'm worried about. There are certain things that are causing me not to sleep well. Parenting is hard. And so I know there are people who do not necessarily want to have children, and I get it, because it is a financial commitment, an emotional commitment. It is a physical commitment too. It is hard raising kids. I'm tired of repeating myself every day. I'm tired of trying to get them to be the best versions of themselves and them not getting it. And then I have to resort to drastic measures. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. I would not trade my children for the world, but let me tell you, there are times when I am like ready to take the keys and strap my keys to a grenade and throw it at the door. Now, granted, I don't use the key to get into my house, but you understand the sentiment. There's times when I'm like, you guys can all have it. You can have it. Last night, I literally had to nudge my husband, who was sleeping. I'm like, you need to go take care of what's going on with these kids. Like, the one child was really mad and was kind of performing. And I was like, you better cut it out. And he's like, but I'm sleeping. I'm like, I'm going to go off if I go in their rooms. I'll say this. Let me tell you something. Parenting kids is not for the weak. It is not for the weak. And it is stressful. I have one in college that I constantly have to lean on, for certain things. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I am worn out. I am worn out. Parenting sometimes actually sucks. I just want to be clear. Parenting sucks. There are times when it's great, and there are times when it just really sucks. All right. So that's my little rant for the day, so that you know that basically I am failing at parenting every day. I am failing at parenting every single day, at least in recent times, because I'm going through it. I am literally going through it with these kids. I'm like, what is your problem? Anyway, they're not all bad. I don't want to get that impression, but sometimes I'm literally like, I need you guys to hurry up and grow up and get out. That's just where I'm at with it. I need you guys to hurry up and get out so you can see just how good you have it here. So basically right now, I'm basically the antichrist right now in my house because I've had to crack down. I had to put some things in place because I was like, oh, I think you guys have me effed up right now. I think you have forgotten who I am. So I've had to put some things in place, and I'm sure it's not comfortable, but my job is to parent first. That is my job. Parent first, not be a friend first. I need to raise you. Make sure I'm right at this four-way stop. Okay, because this lady looked like she wasn't going to obey. I'm like, oh, lady, don't you jump out there. Anyway, y'all pray for me because I am literally going through it. I am going through it with these kids. They are wearing me out, and I'm like, y'all need to like recognize, like, it's time for you guys to just do what you're supposed to do. All right. Let me know what you guys think about it. You know, I won't divulge anything. Nothing crazy happened, but these kids are wearing me the F-U-C-K out. And I was so tired that I had to put some things in place because I'm like, y'all got me messed up, and my job is to make sure you understand exactly what time it is. So, as I continue to be persona non grata in my home, I don't feel bad for putting things in place because I have to parent them first. But they are wearing me out. I was going to cancel Christmas. I mean, you can't really cancel Christmas, right? Because it's about Jesus. But I was going to cancel Christmas. That was how pissed off I was getting. We'll see if behavior is modified. All right. I should probably actually get on the actual road here. Cut over and get on this road. See what it looks like. Let me know your thoughts. Go ahead and